Alien is an iconic sci-fi horror film at the time created by Ridley Scott and became one of the most successful movies of all time. I mean, look at the costume of the Xenomorph. It's tall, dark, looks realistic, and has two mouths, with one of them that sticks out. It's scary and, gross. Alien is an amazing movie with iconic scenes that hold up with other movies at its time, such as Star Wars or Psycho. Alien's visual effects, set design, costumes, props, and even camera angles were some of the most outstanding when comparing to movies just like I said, Star Wars or Psycho. These techniques help create a dark and suspenseful atmosphere that make the film effective as a sci-fi horror film. Looking at the set design of Alien, each set is meant to have that unfamiliar setting leading into the discomfort and fright of the setting. One of the things that make Alien stand out in its setting is that it makes the audience think about where the Xenomorph is. Now, for example, I'm going to be showing an image of the escape shuttle's pipe engines, or just pipes, for example. Now, the alien is sitting, or I guess laying, right there. People watching that scene for the first time would have never known he was there. It's insane of the design of the alien, of how good it's camouflaged in the dark areas. Seeing that many of the ship's sets have an engine-like structure with wires and pipes to look like the alien, which is also why the alien, yeah, that guy right there, looks like a chameleon, or has a chameleon-like structure, by hiding in tight, dark places for its camouflage. Seeing that the engine rooms and some other rooms use low-key lighting, while as the main narrow corridors of the Nostromo has high-key lighting. The inside of the Nostromo ship is meant to have a biomechanical feel, while the planet and the broken ship is meant to have an uncanny feeling, almost like it's real but also not real. The anatomy of the alien is interesting, with its phallic structure of its big head, to its ways of hunting the crew on its final evolution with its tail. Scott's thinking of making the alien look tall, dark, and its uncanny design makes the audience feel and think of the dangers of the alien and of how disturbing it is. The alien's tail and stealthy movements also show that it is a powerful hunter, which supports the feeling of danger for the crew and the audience. One of the reasons Alien is innovated was the way it affected the audience. The shock factor in some scenes really changes the way people view Alien. I mean, people who reviewed the movie explained the film is horrific or gory, making the reviewers not be able to watch it as it was horrifying to look at. Now, an example of a reviewer at the time who couldn't watch Alien for how gory it was Leonard Maltin. Around 25 years after the movie came out, he had to rewatch it again to get another viewing. And it goes something like this. I'm a wimp, and I had a hard time watching the movie when it was new. I kept chewing on the sleeve of my jacket, and I simply didn't enjoy myself. When Scott Reed showed it, theoretically 25 years later, I saw it again and realized, first, how much it had been imitated and ripped off, and second, how masterful it was. I suppose my tolerance for Ignis has changed over the years as well. This review from Maltin captures how innovative Alien was at the time by making it gory to the point where people were scared or shocked by the movie that it instills fear with them. The scene with the chestburster is a great example for a shock factor and unexpected thinking for the audience. Kane flailing about on the table makes the audience think, like, what's happening or what's going on with this guy, since it's not something that you would expect as the scene has a high-key bright lighting, with Kane as the quote-unquote main character of being the center of attention for the audience's expectation. As the audience, you wouldn't think that your quote-unquote main character would be in danger since the scene before that, chestburster, Kane looks fine with its fake happy music as he sits down on his chair trying to recover. So the audience would think, oh, Kane's fine. This type of shocking moment can be compared to the famous shower scene in the horror film Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The audience also experiences a shocking moment, however, the thing with Psycho is that you know that the killer is coming from the gradual music that gets louder and louder, just like in Jaws. However, the reason the chestburster scene is memorable is the unexpectancy monster coming out of nowhere in the bright light. In the end, Alien remains as one of the most influential sci-fi horror films made. Its detailed set design, disturbing creature design, and effective use of suspense help create a unique and terrifying atmosphere. The film's shocking moments and strong visual style continue to influence many modern horror and science fiction films today. Because of these techniques, Alien is still remembered as one of the most iconic horror films in cinema history. Thank you for watching.